What's up, brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice. I There's something I've been thinking about for a couple of days, and I figured maybe I should talk about it before I forget about it again. So recently, the Gulf Coast, especially Texas. Texas is really the only state I've been hearing about it, but they said the Gulf Coast. So I don't know what they mean by that because so far I've only seen stories for Texas. Like there's no Louisiana, Florida, and recently, though, maybe like a month or two ago, Florida had a red tide and it like pretty much like engulfed the whole state. This is a common occurrence, but at the level that it was abnormal. Like it was amazingly huge, right? Like um, it shouldn't have been that huge. For one, for two, yes, even though it is normal, it's like I said, they always sneak it in there very subtly. It was more than usual, though, right? So now not only, and I read another story too, there's a bacteria in the Gulf Coast that if you catch it, you have a 50% survival rate. So, and it's not like you can just like not go in the water, like it's in the sand too, because usually it lives in soil, I think is what I read, but it's in the ocean. And it's usually from tropical areas, but now it's here, and but now we have more tropical type weather going on too. You know what I mean? Like it damn near rains once a day, at least, or at least tries to. It's like yeah, it's like we live in the freaking jungle. It's so humid and it's hot, but the plant life is flourishing. That's the beautiful part. So it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's always been like that. It's just getting worse, you know. So with that being said, back to the fish here, the fishies. Um, So the heat of the oceans is what's really causing all this, is what they're saying. I'd assume for the bacteria as well. I don't know, I can't remember if I read that, but I'm just, assuming it's the same thing applies. That, obviously because of the tropical weather, right? Because, like, we're not a tropical place here in Texas. But anyways, um, with that being said, the heat of the oceans are rising. This is why you have the fish kill off. So it's not red tide, but heat causes the red tide as well. We're seeing the signs. This is abnormal. They literally just cleaned up the beach and then more came. So they downplayed it and they were like, this is normal. This happens all the time. And how do you say? They're going to clean it up. They're going to rake it up. They're going to bury it because it's good for the environment, blah, blah, blah. Takes the stench away. Everything flourishes like the plants and the birds, right? So as they downplay this, it happens again. So then they go on to say, well, we don't know how long this is going to last. Oh, okay. What's gonna happen when more come? What are you gonna say then? I think people are gonna be like, nah, I don't know if this is normal, right? Like, this can't be normal. Well, it's not. And from what I can tell, America is usually the last place to experience things or figure out and find out things. So when this stuff kind of happens, like, just know that, like, we're the last to know. It's been happening everywhere else. You'll find that there's like stuff falling from the sky, things are all on fire, a lot of the water's turning red, yada yada yada, right? Whoop whoop whoop. I think we're getting pretty close to that time, and I think when a lot of people are paying attention to California and for it to have an earthquake and for a tsunami to come and blah blah blah, or New York, I think don't take the Gulf out of the question either, because nobody ever thinks about Texas, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana. Nobody even took into consideration that maybe it just might come from that direction. But when I see something like this, and I know that the oceans are getting hotter and they're beginning to perhaps even boil and have fire come out of them, it's about that time. So, heads up.